As you do this mentoring work, how do you help teach that part when they're you're trying to give them the best that makes it down the line better for them, but they can't see it because they're so like either like thinking about what their needs are right now. I don't want to do that because I want to be doing something else. And so then how do you help that? Because I think that's something that we can maybe even help educators do better in their classrooms, you know?
Yeah, it's a great question. So in our community, in our kind of community of practice, we have tools for addressing conflict, for making goals, and then staying accountable to those goals. And we use these tools to drive home the point that like what you do and say matters. And a man of integrity is one who has his thoughts and words and actions align. And there's opportunities where if someone says something that has an impact on someone else, we give them an opportunity to confront that, for the person who was impacted to share with the other person.
Mm.
And for them to see that up front and up close. Oftentimes it's on these, it's on the phones, and you're not confronted with the impact of your words, of your, whatever it is, if it's a cyberbullying experience or something like that. And we say, no. We're going to do this in the community right here. And we're all going to witness it. And we're going to hold your feet to the fire of really addressing the impact of what your actions are. That's one layer. The other layer is about motivation. And so they might not be motivated to act in the way I want them to act. And my goal is not to get them to act out what I want. My goal is to give them the tools so they can manage their emotional state so people don't control them. Mm. When I talk to young people, I say, if you don't manage your emotions, if you don't control your emotions, someone will control you. And that's just the reality. And so how do you learn and get to know this and have some credibility and some buy-in? And they're like, oh, well, maybe Jordan has something important to teach me here. Maybe I should try this thing out. Maybe I should learn to express myself and understand my emotions. And I can't light a fire under the young people, but I can help them find their fire, and then I can feed it. And that's my goal as a mentor. And that's the kind of process we use in Journeyman. It's how do I connect this to their goals?
Yeah.
We have to do things we don't want to do all the time. It's like, oh, I don't want to go to school. It's like, well, but you want to have money. You just told me your goal was to be able to have enough money to support your mom and support your family, and you want to have a family. So let's connect this long-term goal that you have with this immediate action. It's a small step towards that. Typically how I approach it.
Yeah, thank you for that. And I think, as students are about to go back to school, we're about to hit the beginning of the school year here. And I imagine that teachers, our work is like really trying to support teachers. And I think this next season of our work, we're going to be talking to a lot more teachers, a lot more men in education. How do we create spaces for students in general to be healthy and whole in school? And how do we provide them tips that may need to look more like a mentor and sometimes less like the traditional teacher, right? And I think as a former teacher, I held that as how I try to connect with students on a deeper level. Tried to have to be less of that figure, authoritative, like here's the rules, my rules by, and sometimes knowing that I fell into those patterns of being anyway. Even though it wasn't what I wanted or the ideal of myself. But sometime in the chaos of 20, 30 students at the same time navigating all that, you go to ease, you go to comfort, you go to patterns, and it's like you got to step outside. Step outside.